Yeah, so it wasn't, what I found out about the natural healing and the plants. I always knew God's food, God's natural design or creations is what healed us. So I always knew, I don't know, my camera's flipping back and forth, but I always knew that God's natural food heals us, the plants and things like that. So whenever, what I used to do is, I, once a year, I would get this sudden urge to just go, vegetarian. I would do it for like 2 or 3 months with absolutely no problem, but not once did I ever think that I was going to have to do it without eating sauces. So there's the challenge there. But, so once a year I would always go, raw vegetables. I don't know why I would do this, but I would always do this like vegetarian. At least for 2 or 3 months I would just go vegetarian. I would cleanse my body, and I would notice the difference that I would notice a difference with my cycle, and your female menstrual cycle and things like that. I didn't have any pain. I wasn't sick or anything like that, and it was so different when I did this. But I didn't sustain it because I will always go back to eating meat, because that's what I'm used to, and meat was much cheaper, and I didn't have all the skills and the knowledge and stuff to be able to maintain a vegetarian diet with the recipe books. So I go and I would do this often. So it's actually kind of funny to me when I say I got an experience for everything that happens now. I can look back and I'd be like, it's almost like preparation. So I find it funny that now, where it's like, well, you need to go vegetarian, you have to, because whatever that chicken that I ate, I'm telling you, whatever it was that I ate, immediately, I don't want to say it was like an assist or whatever, but I would try to touch it in my jaw, and it was almost like something hard was in there moving around, and I kept trying to figure, what is that in my jaw, like a cyst, or like something like an infection, or something was sitting in my jaw, and it was causing me from being able to open my mouth and do whatever it is I need to do. So I wasn't sick because of like the weather, or it was cold outside, because I used to always be outside in the cold for the past few years, and I never got sick. So I would never get sick. Even I would stand outside all day because I like being outside, and I would never get sick. So it wasn't the weather that caused me to get sick. It was something that I ate that caused me to get an infection, and something was sitting in my jaw, and it kept me, I think they call it tendinitis or tinnitus or whatever it is, for lockjaw, where you can't open your mouth. And I was sitting there trying to figure it out. So I started eating God's food, green vegetables and things of that nature. And I think they call this man Yaki too, but he explains everything in a way that I like to understand. Although he used a lot of medical terms, he also break it down, simplify it, so you can understand what it is that you're doing and how it's affecting your body. So God's green plants is what heals us whenever we get sick.